Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 with some more multiplayer races. For this session we are racing C-Class vehicles that had to have 8 or more cylinders. I think most of us have gone for V8s. I did try to make a vintage V12 work and ran out of PI, and in the end swapped for something that I think might work a little bit better. I don't really know. I've got the Mercury Cyclone. I've never driven it before in this game, but it's kind of cool, so I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. We have white wall vintage race tyres on the car, and that's about it in terms of the upgrades I could get. So it should be half decently grippy on the tarmac stuff. We'll be terrible off-road. Will be terrible elsewhere. Oh, someone's gone. That's an interesting choice. A 240SX. You could shove a V8 in, but that will be all the PI gone. It's just all of the PI has been eaten by that. But everything else. I mean, the Bronco and Raptor are good choices in as far as they will be very good in the dirt rounds. I'm going to suck there. That's just how it's going to be for me. It's going to be terrible. Gremlin's not actually a bad choice. You've got a big engine and a small car. There's a couple of Gremlins actually in here. That's probably a quite sensible way to do it. I don't know. I don't know whether my vehicle is going to be any good or not. It's still got a 4-speed gearbox. I got one stage of upgrade on the gearbox so I could chew the gears a little bit. It's not perfect, but we will see how it goes. This struggled off the line. I'm not surprised, because that'll be on standard tyres. Now, we will have... we've got 300 something horsepower. We have got an okay amount of grip, actually, through these first corners. That's what I want to see. Oh, a lot of understeer creeping in there. Right. Well, I mean, to be expected a little bit. So, we will have... there'll be vehicles on off-road race tyres, because that doesn't eat up too much PI. I think the Gremlin might possibly be on those. The trucks might just be on their standard tyres. Gremlin looks like it has no top end. That is to be expected here. If you're on off-road race tyres, it'll use a lot of PI, and that will probably not have much power in it. Of course, it will be light, which is good. Light is good, especially in this field where a lot of things are very heavy. Now, this circuit, I mean, there are some straights. This is not all cornering, but you do want a decent amount of grip. Here comes the Cyclone. We're going to get to... we're going to try and get to the inside at turn 1. I think it's not going to matter, though. I think that Gremlin is just going to have too much grip for us to really be able to do much about. Good news for us is it's running into a wall of Bronco that's got a lot of understeer. Oh, that's unlucky for the Bronco is not intentionally doing that. The Bronco's just run out of grip. It's just got no more grip to give through there, and it's the risk you run, sadly. It is very, very unfortunate there for the Gremlin. I mean, I've been in that situation myself before, where sometimes you take that risk, try and throw your vehicle around the outside and see what happens. And yeah, if it works out, great. However, if the vehicle you're battling with just makes the tiniest error, unfortunately, you are the one that kind of gets a little bit in trouble. That is not the line through there. I did want to straighten it up on the exit as soon as possible. However, that was not the way to go about it. I have no doubt actually the Gremlin will catch back up again. It might run out of time to chase after the Raptor up at the front, and I think I've kind of run out of time really to chase after the Raptor at the front. I'm not sure it's that much quicker than I am. Hell, on the right circuit I think we will beat it. Certainly on longer tracks I think we would have the measure of that Raptor. Its top end will probably not be great, but it has just got enough grip in the twisty sections to pull away from me as we run up the hill. I think this is gonna be our lot really, unless the Raptor makes a mistake somewhere, or unless I am magically able to find a whole host of speed somewhere. I'm not quite sure where the magical speed is going to come from in my Cyclone, because we are just quite understeery all the way through here. That is, yeah, we just didn't have the PI for any more grip. Maybe I could have gone aero on this car. Maybe that would have been a way to go. I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting Honda-y. It's too late now, of course. We're committed with this build. Yeah, maybe could have gone aero trying to negate some of the understeer and still been quite fast down the straight, but I think we would have... I think put aero on this, we're still trying to make a very difficult to drive car. Let's say that bit better handling, and then we'd lose the advantage that we did have of the top speed. Not that that's really coming into play at this circuit, but... yeah, difficult to know. Definitely around this track I think I would forego the top speed and whack aero on the car. But of course this is going to be done over multiple circuits. Who knows how it might work elsewhere. The gap between me and the Raptor just isn't changing. It's not gone anywhere. The Raptor is completely unable to pull away from me. I am completely unable to catch it. We maybe are making a 10th a lap on it, if that, and then we get here and it just pulls away again. Yeah, it is not vanishing, but I cannot catch it. The Gremlin has got into third. I mean, that will catch me slowly. I don't know whether it'll have time. We can probably defend on this final lap. If we are good enough out of here, as long as we don't clonk the wall really hard, I should think we'll be okay. Yeah, it's not going to be close enough. We can use all of our power on the climb up the hill, and that will put us well out of range of the Gremlin by the time we get to the twisty section, where it would be superior. So it's not going to be able to do much on this, the final lap of the race. It's an unusual, I say, top group perhaps. We have, well, I mean, there's always going to be some weird vehicles in this with these restrictions. Not going to be your normal C-Class vehicles necessarily, but it looks like we are going to have a Raptor take victory. The Mercury is going to take second, the Gremlin caught us, but can't do anything on the run to the line. You'll see the acceleration. We will take a second place. Yeah, Gremlin probably the fastest vehicle around that track. We were unable to really match the pace. Could have made life awkward with our straight line speed. What was the lap time between me and the Ford? Yeah, I was right. I was right. Really, really close between me and the Raptor. Really, really close. The Gremlin gets third ahead of the Bronco. The second of the Gremlins is in fifth. We then have the Dodge, Vandura, Cuda, Corvette, Mustang, and the Nissan, I'm presuming, had very, very, very little grip with those tyres. Podium, not too bad a start. We do head off to our next race. It's off-road. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm not going to lie. We know the Raptor and Bronco are going to be good here. The Gremlin that we were battling with is an off-road race tyres. So certainly all of those are going to probably beat me. I knew that building the Cyclone. I was hoping it might have a little bit more tarmac performance, if I'm honest. I was hoping we would do... I mean, we did well in the first race, but I was hoping we were going to be better there. So, yeah, this is always the round where we're going to struggle a little bit more. I mean, in C-Class, you don't get much PI to play with any of these vehicles, really. It's possible there might be some other cars on off-road race tyres that I didn't really see. It's quite likely that there is. I think we're going to probably be mid-pack battling here. But we will do our best. The vintage race tyres aren't completely chod. They're not completely useless. And we will have some good straight-line speed. So once we are up to speed on the dirt section, we will at least have, I hope, a quite good top end for this track. But there are bits of the circuit where, yeah, we are going to struggle, and there's not much we can do about it. I mean, we've actually made a little bit of a mess through there, which I should have done better with. One advantage the Raptor does have over us, and I think the Raptor's on its standard tyres, which are not as good as off-road race tyres, but they are better than, of course, whatever I have. And I mean, the bigger thing really for those is they're all-wheel drive. They are, and the Bronco the same thing. They can have the same compound tyre as me. If they're all-wheel drive, that's a pretty nice advantage they would have here. Now, that all-wheel drive advantage doesn't really count for much in the tarmac stuff, not in C-Class, not really. So, not so fussed about that advantage when it comes to the tarmac rounds, but here, of course, the traction in the dirt is going to be a big thing. The Bronco, I imagine the Bronco's going to be close to stock. You will not have very much PI to play around with at all with that. It's going to have a look to the inside. We will try and hold it. Now, I know it's going to get past here. I'm not even that fussed about it getting past here. My goal is to fight back and maybe find a way back past before we go off-road again. Using our straight line speed, unfortunately, it's not really a straight here. We've got to have a look around the outside, and I don't have the grip. I just can't hold it in the Cyclone. We could maybe fire it to the inside. I don't trust my car to get stopped, although the Bronco can't get stopped either. We're going to try and cut underneath here, get a good exit, which we do. Use the acceleration of the Cyclone. So whatever is ahead of us, I'm not sure what the muscle car was. I think it was a Charger. I could be wrong though. I didn't really pay much attention to the start there. We've got a Gremlin and we have a Vandura coming to join the fray. Now the Bronco can go around the outside. It's a brave manoeuvre around there, as we saw in the first race. The Bronco ended up doing to somebody. Yeah, because I've got no grip out here. I'm very much outside my comfort zone. But I do have the power. Once I have got that, well, once I've just about got the traction to go, we can go with some speed here. And we will fight off Bronco once more. And that is the advantage, because the downside is we use all that advantage and it's going to get caught very quickly down here. I can't afford to run wide, but I can't afford to run wide, but I also can barely stop myself from running wide there. And sure enough, the Bronco has made its way past. The Vandura, I'm going to presume, is on off-road race tyres, with the speed that barreled its way down the dirt section. A quick look at it suggests that it probably is. Right, what on earth can I do? We're back to defending, basically. We're at this point. The Gremlin's not doing so great around here, which surprises me. Don't know what tyres that thing's running though. So there, the Vandura's weakness is going to be the same as the Bronco. Really, it's just going to have no straight line speed compared to me. So if we can, as long as we don't make any silly mistakes on the dirt. I mean, we're not battling with a vehicle this time around, which is something. So we're not going to lose as much time trying to defend from the Bronco, for example. So if we can just be, all I've got to be is just neat and tidy through here. A little kiss on the wall like that, that's fine, that doesn't matter. We'll lose a tiny bit of momentum, but it's not enough to really give me cause for concern. The Vandura will catch, and then the Vandura will fall back, because we can use our power here to just try and extend the gap. And yeah, you can see the size of the gap. So as long as we keep doing that, the Vandura will only catch us. The Vandura will catch us massively down here, but it's got to catch us down here because the rest of the lap it's losing too much time. The Bronco is catching up to second place, and what we can do is just park our Mercury on the apex. And we brought a friend. The Gremlin has come to join the fun. Right, you two fight each other, leave me alone, and you know, if I can run and claim a fourth, I'd actually be relatively happy with that. So that Gremlin's got zero straight line speed at all. There's just nothing giving in that. Oh, come on, Mercury. We've got a lot of understeer through there. Let's just try and stay ahead. Again, we've got to use the power of the Cyclone. Either it's going to be an epic defense and we're going to keep them both behind, or I'm going to screw up and they're both going to come soaring past. Either option is possible around here. I've got to get everything right. And again, that time we don't even kiss the wall. It's as good as I'm going to get the Cyclone out of there. We've got the Gremlin behind us. I would rather the Vandura behind us, I think, as the vehicle challenging. Although I think the Gremlin's even worse down the straight. So we can extend the gap even more with our white-walled Cyclone. It'll barrel its way down here. Right, a couple more corners. Important corners to come. I mean, this section, they're not going to be close enough to attack. It's the next part is where they are a real threat, and we are out a little bit wide. We've got a Gremlin having a look. We know they're going to want to find a way past, but we also know, Gremlin's going to go around the outside. If I can get my power down, we should at least outrun one of them to the line. Can I catch the Gremlin before the line? It's going to be really close. I think we've just done it. We just get it. The Cyclone holds on to... Oh, the game cheated us out of that one. We did pass. I'm ignoring the game on that one. We did pass the Gremlin on the run to the line. I mean, it wasn't very easy to drive. It was a Charger up in second. I'm going to presume off-road race tyres on that one. The other of the Gremlins must have missed a checkpoint, I think, because it was lapping quickly, but was a fair way back. I mean, for... Actually, I don't know what tyres the Charger's on. The Charger's on weird ones. I was expecting that to be an off-road race, but it doesn't look like it. The off-roady vehicles are on the podium as expected. The Charger did good, and I had a fun battle, and we ended up 4th. We head to the Emerald Circuit for our next race. I am a fair way back in the pack, but I say that's okay. I'll see what we can do. We might not be too bad here. The straight line speed of our vehicle might come in handy. I mean, this isn't a pure straight line speed circuit by any stretch of the imagination. We are going to struggle in front of the hotel in the final corner. The rest of the track we might not be too bad at. I mean, we're expecting the likes of the Bronco and the Raptor to understeer through that fast section. The Gremlins, I think, are going to be too far down on straight line speed. That's what I'm going to expect. I will see what I can do with this. The Charger's shot off the line. That thing's blasting forward. I mean, we're not quite off the line, but once we get going, we're not too shabby. We will try and run. Oh, the Nissan. I like the theory behind the Nissan. I really do like the idea. But that is a very difficult car to drive in that guise. And... yeah, you're just going to struggle. That's the that sort of build sadly just doesn't seem to work on this game. I mean, Horizon 4 you could kind of almost get away with. We saw some of those builds work a little bit more. We've not really seen the extreme builds like that work much. I'm not saying you can't make them work on Horizon 5, of course, but they seem to be a lot more difficult to make work if you're going to. The Hemi Cuda is going to give us a little bit of a squeeze down there. That's two very big muscle cars fighting over the same piece of tarmac. Right. Come on, we can't let the trucks win everything. If it's not me, I'd happily have the Charger win. The Charger's got good pace here, actually. The Charger has got some pretty good pace. The Gremlins are gone. As expected, their lack of straight line speed. They are kind of a bit of a one-trick car. Which is fine. Sometimes you build cars. I've done it plenty of times. You build a vehicle as a one-trick car. The Gremlins have got quite good handling. Being off-road race and a bit down on power, we get pass completed on the Bronco. So I think I handle better than the Charger, it would seem. I handle probably about the same as the Raptor. I mean, I make my corner speed a slightly different way to the Raptor, I think. The Raptor can I think the Raptor gets a bit better acceleration out of a corner than I do. I think actual mid-corner speed we're probably very similar. Lap speed wise, yeah, we're pretty similar as well. Annoyingly, I think we've had to come from so far back. I don't know if we're going to, much like the first race, I think we're just going to sit here doing very similar lap times and not really being able to do much about the vehicles in front. And I think, annoyingly, it's going to be a truck that takes another victory unless the Charger can find a way to sneak past, unless the Ford makes a mistake. I mean, the Charger really catches down here, and then it just loses out as we get into the slightly more twisty sections. It might be close enough next lap around. I mean, there's always a chance that the pair of them tangle. There is always that hope that the pair of them trip over each other, and that can let the Mercury through. I'd say that you always want to have a vehicle capable of competing legit. If we get gifted a place, we get gifted a place or two. I think we're just not quite quick enough here, really, to keep up with them. I've been trying to push this way too hard. I mean, we clonked the wall. The Charger's in a really good place, actually. The Charger's a lot closer than it was last lap around, so I think the Ford could be in trouble here. I'm pretty sure the Charger's gone to the inside down here. It tried, it had a look. It might not have quite made it stick, though. No, it hasn't. It's going to have to rely on outrunning somewhere down here. Unfortunately, I cannot. We're too far back. I can't see what's going on. The Charger's still looking. It might take a dive bomb into the hotel complex if it gets a good run out of here. That's probably one of your best spots to do it. It's going to have to, if he's going to beat the Raptor, I think it's going to need to have got the pass done by now. I don't think it's going to have a chance anywhere else because the Raptor's too good here. I say that, Charger's still looking. The Dodge is looking every which way to find a way past, but it cannot quite do it. Will they launch it? No, the Ford's too far away. I think the Ford is going to take another victory. The Raptor is to the inside. I think there's some swapping of paint. It's not going to make it. Ford will win. Dodge will take second. And we will cross the line in a third. We got a good view of that one. And that's all I could do. Yeah, I'm not quite as quick as the two ahead of me. Similar to the Raptor, again, only a few tenths. The Charger, that thing was rapid. That thing was very rapid around there. I'll take a podium, though. Podium's always good. We head off to the Caldera scramble for our next race, and as it happens, it's snowy. I'm really screwed here. We can say goodbye to 4 or 5 cars, anything running off-road race tyres. The Gremlins are going to vanish, the Vandura will vanish, the 2 all-wheel drives will vanish, and then I might be in the battle of the muscle cars. I think the Charger might be better than me off-road. I don't know what tyres the Charger's got on it. I'm not sure these vintage race tyres have really worked for me, if I'm honest. I'm not sure this was quite the way to go. I do love running vintage race tyres on cars. However, I just don't feel like it's really working here. I wonder if that Charger might be all-wheel drive swapped. I wonder if that's an all-wheel drive swapped Charger, because there's no rules against that. An all-wheel drive swapped Charger on like standard tyres or something. That could explain why it was so quick on the dirt. Possibly. Be a handful to drive, perhaps. I mean, it might also explain why they're chucking it very sideways a lot in all of this. So, yeah, maybe that is how they've got speed in that, although it's really got no grip on the snow at all. And it explains why it's so quick off the line. But we've got actually a pretty good start for the rear-wheel drive cars. We've left a lot of cars for dead in this, which is nice. We are trying to set up a nice line through here to try and look for a way past it. We can ignore the top 5. They're out of our league a long way this time. We're not going to be able to cheese and hold on to a 4th place like we did in the previous, because there's not enough tarmac to make the most of our straight lines. There's no tarmac. They don't have straights to use our straight line speed, and we had a bad start anyway. The Charger was very early on the brakes there. I almost ended up in the back of it. We're going to try and cut underneath it for the climb up the hill. Not quite going. I really don't know what compound tire that thing's on. It is a mystery to me. It does seem like a... well, it definitely has absolutely no turning. 0 turning on that. Can we... I mean, yeah, you can slide about and that is just going to give me a really easy pass. It's made my life 10 times easier. Parked on the apex would be very difficult for me to pass, but if it's sliding around like mad, I can just dive up the inside and we will complete that. Although my turn to slide around a little bit on the exit. At least the rocks are cleared out of the way here now, they should be, by the stronger vehicles. What have we got? So it's Gremlin leading from Bronco, leading from Vandura, leading from Gremlin, and then we have the Raptor. So the Raptor's not having such a good time in this one. I don't know really where to break down here. It's a little bit of a guesswork from me. We are clear of the Charger for the moment. It was trying to cut back underneath us. And it is going to try and climb now. But we know it can't. It can look around the outside, but I just don't think it's ever going to have the grip. It was a good... I say it's about all it can do, I think, in this, is to try and poke the nose around the outside and hope that I do something wrong, because I don't think it's ever going to have the grip to fire it up the inside. I also find it funny that I've built a car that's really more tarmac-based. This is more the goal with this. And yet the best races I've had are the off-road ones. Of course it is. Of course it is. Why would any sense be made whenever we film stuff here? Oh, rocks, no. Okay, those rocks weren't cleared. We were drifting a little bit wide in the corner. We may have to be a little bit careful. We may have to defend into turn 1. I know the Charger's got good straight line speed. I don't want to... I mean, we're not going to go crazy to the inside. Oh, come on. There we go. We'll just use the banking. Ah, no, the Charger couldn't do it. Either I don't think the Charger can quite live without braking and quite live without turn. There's some big old gaps going on. And this is always a little bit... realise this was the season for snow until I teleported over here. This track is always going to throw up weird results. It is, I say, how it goes around here. I'm surprised that the Raptor's struggling so much here. Having been so fast everywhere else, I mean, it is very close at the front. We're not really seeing what's going on there. Of course, the off-road race type vehicles are going to be fast. But, yeah, the Raptor is not going to win this one. That is for sure. We are clear of the Charger. The Charger may have made a little mistake somewhere. It gave us a good run for our money. We had to work for it here. It's going to be a sick play. I'm not disappointed, considering we're the best of the non-off-road oriented cars, basically, out there. And that is I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. No more we could have done. Very close between, very close between second and fifth. However, no one is even getting close to the Gremlin up at the front. We head on to our final race with these large-engined C-Class cars. Not a bad spot on the grid for us here, actually. I will take that. I feel like this is a track that should be good for us, but it should be better for the Charger. I think we might be able to beat the Raptor. It's got some long straights. There are some nasty corners that can really catch you out, especially the braking zone into, I guess what's technically turn 2 here. That braking zone is, yeah, that's sketchy. But we will see. We will see what we can do. I'm always targeting a win. If that's a little bit out of reach, because I think the charge is going to be too quick here, a second place, I'm hoping, is going to be possible. Oh, don't know where I need to brake down here. No one really knows. The Nissan's got a big slide on. Of course, this does rely on me being, let's say, fast enough to pass the Raptor. I know the Charger, I kind of don't really want to fight the Charger at this moment in time. I don't want to really compromise. I want the Charger to go blasting off after the Ford. I want it to slow down the Raptor. I want it to give the Raptor trouble. I could have been braver from there. I don't actually know this track particularly well. Maybe I don't have the straight line speed against the Raptor that I thought I did, really. I think we do have top end, but up to like 100, the Raptor can kind of give us some grief, although that clonk on the wall would not have helped it. I think the Ford's going to be vulnerable to the Dodge down at turn 2. We are going to be reeling in that Raptor, I hope. Yeah, okay, so once we get to like 120, we do start catching it. But I don't know if that's going to be enough. Now, if the thing that we might see, and the thing that might help me, is basically what should happen through turn 1. The Raptor is going to get boxed in now, so it can't take all the speed it wants through these corners anymore because there's a car in front of it. It's compromised. And even if it's trying to pass the Dodge, it's got to take a tight line, it's got to take a wide line, and then now we're going to compromise it into the next corner. We're going to just fire the Mercury to the inside, and then when we get on the exit, we get on the power, we can just pull that little bit of a margin perhaps to it, although it has got the acceleration. It's got initial acceleration, yeah, up to about 100, it can give us some real grief. Past that 100 mile an hour mark, past 120 mile an hour mark, it cannot quite live with us. We can be a bit faster through there as well. Yeah, my hope is now that I might be able to just get far enough away, and if the worst comes to the worst, we might have to go on the defend like mad. That is always possible. It is much easier to defend when you have the straight line speed car. It's an awful lot easier defending when you have the straight line speed car, because you can park it on the apex in the slow corners and then build a gap when you get to the straights. We've got Shadow Rush up into 4th. The Bronco, yeah, this was never going to be a track for the Bronco, definitely not going to be a track for the Gremlins. They have no top end at all. I messed up that corner annoyingly. Actually, the Charger isn't as... I mean, it's definitely faster than me, but it isn't quite pulling away as much as I thought it might around here. I mean, it wouldn't have got as far away this lap if I hadn't messed up that corner. The Raptor is right there again. It's having a look, but what is it going to do? It can't really do much from there. We will just blast away. Because yeah, if it's going to pass me, it wants to be close. It wants to be so much closer here. This is the big opportunity spot, really. As long as I don't smack the wall hard, we'll get away with a little tap like that, I think. Although, maybe not. Oh, Come on, Cyclone. Yeah, on that power, I've got to get... I can't let... If that gets alongside me here, I'm in trouble. I've got to make sure that we can shut the door, and we can. It is a little rude, but I can't shut the door fully. No, I think it's got us. Just not quite good enough handling. I can't maintain enough corner speed. Yeah, I should maybe have parked it better on the apex through there. We will... I say we'll launch it. I can't launch it. I don't have the front end grip. Final lap's got a little bit awry. Charger's going to take victory. It is a scruffy final lap from me, which is a little bit of a shame. I mean, look, it happens. I am disappointed in myself. I am disappointed in myself in that one. Should have and could have done a lot better there. However, you know, it is what it is. Lap time between me and the Raptor very close. The Dodge Super Bee actually faster back in 4th place. So there we go. Well, this was an interesting experience. Yeah, that Dodge is on strange tyres. I still can't figure it out. I think standard maybe. Yeah, this has been an interesting session. The Mercury was solid, but not spectacular. It's one of those cars, I built a few in the past, that would run well, scored me podiums, but was never going to win a race because there was always something better than it. Whether it be off-road, whether it be tarmac, there was always something better. It wasn't quite as good on tarmac as I would have liked. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. If you would like to take part in the next one of these, next set of races, you can sign up via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the versus the community section, and you can register to take part in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.